Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today in my swing studio at Drayton Park Golf Club. Today what I'm going to cover is one of the key fundamentals of the golf setup, the grip. So what I'm going to run through is a very neutral, very textbook style of holding the golf club, what we should all really be aiming for. And if you're a beginner golfer new into the game, then just try and follow these steps and I'll give you some easy ways that you can actually practice this just at home in the living room, getting used to the grip, a way you can mark your glove to help some checkpoints that you're looking for, and some notes will come up on the screen as well. While I'm running through this, also there will be some close-ups, pictures of my grip as I'm talking about them, so you can see what I'm seeing from this angle, or maybe a little bit closer from face on. What I would say is, if you're not new to the game, if you have been playing the game for a while, I would only change your grip if it's having an effect or a negative effect on your ball flight or power. So the main purpose of a good grip is, one, to control the club face, and two, to help us generate some more speed. If you're already efficient enough in speed, the shot shape isn't causing a problem, or your grip isn't causing the shape problem that you're hitting, then I wouldn't look at changing. For instance, if I had a player who's got a very strong grip, which is what we'd class as a hooker's grip, so for a right-handed player would tend to cause the ball to be going more to the left of the target, both hands are too much round the golf club or underneath the golf club, but that person is hitting fades or slices to the right of the target, I wouldn't change it, because changing the grip is actually going to make the ball flight worse. I would improve the technique. When the ball starts going left, I would then change the grip, but only then. Okay, so if you're getting a neutral flight, I wouldn't bother. And the opposite, if I got someone who's got a faders slicers grip, so causing that ball, or should be causing that ball to go more to the right of the target for a right-handed player because their hands are too far over the golf club, but they're hitting draws or hooks, again, I wouldn't correct the grip. So I'm in no way saying there is only one way of playing this. There has been some great players playing the game with slightly, I guess, unauthentic grips. There's been more good players playing with strong grips than weak grips. You don't tend to get too many good golfers with a weaker grip. I do advocate that in short game, but that's really not for beginners, and I will cover that in a completely separate video in terms of weakening that right hand when you're trying to create more elevation. But when we're talking about a full shot, I really want to see a very neutral grip, but I would only look at changing your grip if it's having a negative effect on your ball flight. If you've got a slicer's grip and you're hitting a slice, change it. If you've got a hooker's grip and you're hitting a hook, change it. If it's having a negative effect on speed, you're not really getting that late hit, that lag, that real speed at the bottom end of the golf swing because of a very palmy grip, for instance, again, look at changing it. So I know that's dragged on, but I just want to be clear on that. It's not a fault unless it's causing a fault with the ball flight. So don't think you've got to just change your grip that you've been doing for 20 years if it's not causing a problem. Those who are newer into the game, this is going to be really vital for you, and get the good grip right now. It's much easier now rather than further down the line. So the first thing I wanted to say about how we hold the golf club is it's unnatural. It might feel unnatural when you're holding the golf club, but it actually should be your natural arm position when you're in golf posture. So what I mean by golf posture, my feet are about shoulder width apart. I'm softening my knees, but I'm tilting forwards from my hips, and I'm just allowing my arms to hang. You'll see they hang and naturally turn inwards slightly. As they fall together, that would actually be my golf grip, okay? So if my hands are under here, you can see that doesn't look very natural with my forearms or my shoulders, and the opposite, that wouldn't either. So we actually want our natural hanging position. If I start with my hands too far underneath the golf club in what we would class as a hooker's grip or a strong grip, our forearms should want to roll to their natural hanging position, and that would have the effect of closing the club face. If my hands were too far over the golf club, again, my arms want to return to their natural hanging position, and that would have the effect of opening the club face. So that's why it's very important in terms of the club face control. In terms of speed, If I get a player with a very palmy grip, very much high up in their palm near their lifeline, it tends to really lose them any hand speed. Now, I don't want hand speed in terms of this way to try and close the club face. What I'm talking about is a cocking of the wrist and an uncocking into impact to generate some speed. Those players with a very palmy grip, which is great in putting and chipping, will really struggle to generate power on full shots with the club way too much up in their palm. They will struggle to maintain the angle they're really looking for in their lead wrist on the downswing and actually letting that go at impact. So it'll have a negative effect on speed. Now, what I've done is I've marked up just an old glove, just with a couple of helpful lines. If you do struggle with your grip, it's good to have a few checkpoints on there, even if it's just a glove that you use at home in the living room. There's nothing that says you can't have these lines on your glove when you go on the golf course, however, so if it helps, go for it. So what I did earlier was held the club as I want to, and then I just with a Sharpie pen drew up either side of the grip. And that gave me a couple of blue lines where the club's going to be sitting. So you'll see a close-up image of this one as well. I want the grip running from the middle of the index finger of my lead hand. So for me as a right-handed player, my left hand, my one that's closest to the target, from the middle of that index finger to the bottom of the pad where my little finger joins the pad of my hand. So it's diagonally across the fingers. Okay, so that checkpoint really helps if you're new into this or struggling with your grip to put it between those lines and move the hand over. Now, as I'm looking down, what I can see is my left thumb is on the right side of the golf club. The V between my thumb and forefinger is pointing all the way up towards my trail shoulder, towards my right shoulder. So this V up here. Okay, somewhere between my ear and my shoulder, anywhere in this area is very, very good. And as I'm looking down, I can easily see the blue dot I've put on the golf club above my second knuckle. So we generally say we want to see 2.5 knuckles. What we mean normally by that is 2 to 3. Okay, so we wouldn't see that fourth knuckle over the little finger there, but we'd see 2 to 3 knuckles. I'd much prefer to see 3 than ever seeing 1. So I much prefer to see a stronger grip than a weaker grip. And that player will start to sort of hold off the shot rather than really release it with their hands. But they're the 3 checkpoints I really look for. Is my left thumb's on the right side of the grip, the V between thumb and forefinger, right collarbone, and I can see the dot on my glove there, so I can easily see my second knuckle without, of course, moving my head. Okay? In terms of the linking between the hands, there is no real right and wrong here, whether we're using an overlap or an interlock grip. It's been said that people with smaller hands would benefit from more of an interlock grip, and those with larger, more of an overlap. I would try both. I would see what feels more comfortable to you. I would try and avoid the baseball grip unless you are a big slicer of the golf ball and we're trying to close the club face to start with. If that club face is coming through very open, we could get that right hand a little lower than the left. It tends to cause the trail hand, the right hand for me, to be a little bit more dominant through impact. But I really want to, as much as possible, try and get them working as one unit. So I actually go for the overlap grip, which is just my little finger of my right hand sitting in the gap created between these last 2 knuckles on my left hand, so my index finger and my next finger down there. Okay, the interlock grip, and again you'll see close-ups of these, would just be the little finger of the trail hand interlocking with the index finger of the lead hand. The key point is that my right thumb, for me as a right-handed golfer, will be sitting on the club, not off the golf club, but on the opposite side. So I've got my left thumb on the right side, my right thumb on the left. What you will also see here with the right hand, the trail hand in position, is the V created between the thumb and forefinger is pointing in exactly the same place as the lead hand. Both are pointing up towards my right collarbone, my right shoulder. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Now, the importance for me of trying to keep this right thumb on the grip rather than off is at the top of the backswing, I want us to be able to support the weight of the club and help by using that thumb there. Okay, so I find when that hand is off the golf club, it's a little bit harder to support the weight of the club at the top of the swing. So I do find it important to try and keep that thumb just on the side of the grip there, so at the top of the backswing it is supporting some weight. The last thing I really want to discuss, I know this is quite a long video, but it's really important to go through it very clearly and make sure you understand each key point of what we're trying to do. Now, there will be a summary coming up on the screen as well, just with some key checkpoints that we're really looking for. The other thing I just want to discuss is grip pressure, grip tension. So there's a lot been written about that, about sort of pretend you're holding a baby bird or a tube of toothpaste that's open. So you're holding, not squeezing, and that's fine, but most of us haven't held a baby bird, and we wouldn't really stand there with an open tube of toothpaste and grip it. What I would normally aim for is grip it as tight as you can, really so your knuckles are starting to go white. Class that as a 10 on the grip scale, okay? So as tight as you can. Then go as light as you can so the club is wobbly, moving around in the hands, almost going to fall out, and class that as a 1. I want you to grip it somewhere in between the two. I'd prefer you to grip it on a 4 rather than a 6, so slightly lighter than middle, but anywhere in that middle range. So we've got hold of the golf club, but we're definitely not throttling it. A good thing to get someone to do is you hold the golf club, hold it out to them, and get them to pull the club. Your arms should move, okay? If they're yanking the golf club, your arms should move. Whereas if I was too tight, too tense, and they try and pull it, you're not going to move anywhere. So the club should move, but it shouldn't be able to be dragged out of the hand. So you need to hold the club, but definitely not throttle the golf club. I like that. Feel it as tight as you can, feel it as loose as you can. Try and grip it somewhere in the middle there. A lighter grip, but hold of it will again help us generate some speed that we're really looking for. That's everything I really wanted to discuss with a grip. What I did, what I do have over here is a molded grip that you can get to help you if you're, again, learning this. So this is on a Momentous training aid, which is just a heavy weighted thing as a warm-up exercise, but it has a molded grip. You can get them just individually, just to put on a practice club, or even ones that just clip over your existing club that you can then take off. They're a good idea if you're really learning it, but what I would do is I'd grip the club correctly, take your hands off, put it back on, check. Look at those checkpoints. Again, take your hands off, put it back on. What I don't want you to do if you're learning the game and you're on the driving range is hit the ball, keep hold of the club, drag the next one out, hit it, drag the next one back. You're only really practicing that grip once, and the tension just increases and increases and increases. So I'm going to go ahead and hit one, and as I do, I'm just going to quickly talk you through what I'm trying to do in terms of my grip. Now, I've been doing it long enough that actually, do you know what? It comes naturally to me. I'm not thinking about it, and it will do to you. Okay, it just takes practice, perseverance. But this can all be done at home. So I would align the club first. I would get the right distance away and align my body. Then I would put my hands on rather than holding the club first. So running diagonally through the fingers, left thumb on the right side of the grip. I can see that dot on my glove, so I can see 2 to 3 knuckles. My left thumb is on the right side of the grip, and that V, right collarbone. I go for an overlap grip, and I want my right thumb sitting on the left half of the grip. And again, I can see that my V created between the thumb and the forefinger is at that same right collarbone, okay? That trail shoulder over here. My grip pressure I want to keep nice and light, so it's good to have a couple of waggles just to try and release that tension. Let me go ahead and try and hit one for us. Let's give it a go. Not bad at all. Felt quite a nice strike. Just left it out right of target. So Clubface will just be a touch open through impact. Let me go ahead and just hit one last one. So my whole routine would only really take this long to go ahead and hit the full shot. Straighter ball flight, straight down the line, but not as good a strike. You wouldn't know it. I mean, the distance was okay. It was just a little bit on the low side, felt a little bit low out the bottom of the golf club. But again, that's not really what I'm looking for with this. So that last shot was a perfect dated hit, just a soft draw really, path into out, club face a little bit open. So really good control of the club face on that first shot. Just left that club face 2 degrees open. So it's fine lines. It really is only margins in there. I hope that video's helped. I know there's quite a lot to cover. Hopefully the close-ups and the little notes in there will have helped that. I know it's a relatively long video. Maybe break it into parts or go back and just sort of press pause, try it yourself, then click back to play again. Do post some comments and questions below. Love to hear your feedback, any videos you'd like to see in the future, anything else that you're struggling with. Do check us out on all our social media. All the info's coming along the bottom of the screen now. And all the videos are uploaded on Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.